Welcome back to MLB 9 innings. Happy New Year. Um, for the new year, I basically want to start doing more analysis and less pack openings or combos. There's a lot of channels that do very good job at that. They Some of them have an ability to um, save up their packs and have a little more discipline about not opening them. So I'll still do some of that, but want to focus more on analysis. Um, sort of what's my niche. Was also thinking about rebranding. MLB 9 innings community sounds a little lame, so I was thinking about just going to maybe Metstros. Uh, Let me know what you think about that. I've done some analysis on skills and stuff like that. It's been sort of one-off analysis, but what I hadn't done was a sort of high-level overview. And then in the future we can drill down more into specific skills again. But wanted to produce overviews for each batters, starting pitchers, and relief pitchers. So, going to start with batter skills today. I divided up the main skills. We'll get to legends in a minute, into different tiers. So S tier, I think, are the three best skills. Also list what the effect is. So charisma, it drops all skills. -2 at level 1. You get it up to level 8, it's -12. You have to be cautious though that these are nerf targets. Level 19, a mentor, allows you to nerf some skills. Charisma was kind of the biggest one. Now it's been spotlight a little more. Um, the A tier, you got batting machine, barrel it up, and prediction. Some of these are player dependent, especially barrel it up. You need your contact and speed to either be 225 or 230. So for some players, barrel it up might be a B tier skill, and some it might be an A tier skill. So it really depends on the player whether that skill is the right fit for the player. Same thing with Ace Killer. Ace Killer works pretty well on my legend Paul Molitor, basically the worst legend in the game, 67 base. So, generally now I'm going up against SIG pitchers, 71 base. It's always going to be active. If you had it on, I have it as it's level 2 on my Howard Johnson SIG. It's not really going to be active that much. So it really depends on how often it's active. Um, some things like Master Base Thief, it depends on the pairing. If you had a sort of leadoff hitter with, maybe Charisma, Batting Machine, Master Base Thief, that's going to play better than if it was Slugger, Spotlight, and Master Base Thief. So, guy with a lot of home runs that doesn't just get on base a lot, it's not going to be really active. Why does 5 tool player, which increases stats by up to 12, not be as valuable as a skill that drops to skills by 12? So that's sort of a come to us mystery. We don't have access to the algorithms. All we can look at is how it performs in practice and make judgments. So, theoretically, if you had a 100 OVR player and the pitcher was 112 OVR, you bring your skills up to 112, or you bring his pitching skills down to 100, it should have the same effect, right? Well, no. All right. Generally, these are in order of preference. So training junkies better than reliable. Ace killers better than table setter. Except for C tier, which is sort of, I don't really have a huge preference. Table setter, there's another one where if you had one, so say you had, prediction batting machine and table setter, or something like prediction table setter master base thief, and high on base percentage, followed by your, guy with spotlight slugger instinct. So you get the guy on base, you get master base thief active, and then you have your home run hitters behind that. That can be a good combo. If every player had table center, well, it's not going to be active. So you sort of have to think about how the skills interrelate. Over on the right, we have our D tier and F tier. I'm not going to spend any time talking about that. It's sad that laser beam is a gold skill. There's no bronze skills worth talking about on the batter side. So if we do a sort of a simple scoring, and we'll get to legend skills in a minute, but if we take something like Howard Johnson, he's got spotlight slugger instinct, so that's 2 in the S column. I don't credit ace killer with anything because it's probably not going to be active. Jeff McNeil, charisma slugger, full swing hitter, so 2 in the S column and then sort of 0.7 in the B column. So if we we do that for all the skills and then we average them, you can kind of get a high level picture of where your skills are. So, 1.67 S skills, 0.7 A, and then 0.32 B. So generally you have, you have at least one S, one A, and then sometimes a third skill. So it gives you sort of a high level picture of what your skill sets are. So what does it take to get to legend rank? We look at, I did the same exercise. So I got the Metstro's thing here, which I just talked about. And then I looked at a couple other teams. So, at the top, we have Fufu. So this was, I got the skill sets from AK Gaming's latest video. I'm going to put a link in the description. If you're not following AK, he's got a lot of good videos, so I'd recommend you give him a follow and a watch. But he recently looked at Fufu's skills. So Fufu is an East server player. He did a huge pack opening on the Jfish AK Gaming collaboration on New Year's. There he opened like 19 sig packs and it was like 4 team select sigs. I mean, it was pretty crazy. But he has, he's finished legend on the East server. So East server is harder than the West server. Some of those guys spend crazy money on the game. You only get to, 19 regular sig packs by saving and buying them when they're available. The other team, Legend, here is a team I've been friends with for a while. We used to be pretty even, and he kind of shot up. He has finished Legend 1 a couple times recently. So we're going to look at, both the skills and then sort of the distribution of batters. So this Legend team, he's got 6 SIGs, 1 Legend, and 1 regular, all black diamond. There's another D1 team here. Somebody in the club. He's got 8 SIGs, 1 Legend, 5 are black diamonds. So almost all SIG team. Probably the slight drop in skills, maybe holding them back from being, higher. And then I got KJ, who's got, pretty solid skill set, finishes gold 1. There's also another gold 1 team I'm friends with. He's got a lot more SIGs, maybe, not quite as solid on the skill set. So batter's chem also plays into effect here. So I think I'm pretty close on the batting skills. You can do this, sort of as an analysis. All right, where do I need to be? What do I need to improve? I think I'm pretty close on the batters themselves. I want to, get Conforto, Black Diamond SIG back in the lineup, get somebody with batter's chemistry on the bench instead. So, upgrading Molitor to Conforto, that would be a huge step. Where the Legend team really shines is pitching. Same thing with Fufu, and we'll talk about pitcher skills in a subsequent video. But he's got a really much better sort of skill set on some of the relievers, especially. If we talk about Legend skills, not all of them are that great. So the skills that people chase the most is Pioneer and Bad Ball Hitter. So when you have really top level teams, talking about which skills they like, listen to them. What do the top teams have? That'll give you a lot of insight into what works and what doesn't. So Pioneer and Bad Ball Hitter are the ones that people chase. So it gives you stat increases. Bad Ball Hitter also decreases pitcher skills, so it's an increase and a decrease. Pioneer works well because you get a higher hit percentage when there's lower total team hits. So it does good in the beginning of the game, kicks you off if you're not hitting well. So that's a great skill set. It's sort of the opposite of, say, Contact Master, which does better when you have a lot of hits. So team hits. So that's going to happen later in the game if you're already hitting well. So that doesn't play as well. Chance Maker, I don't have that much experience with. I would generally put it, sort of high A tier. It increases contact ion speed, and there's a better chance of the following batter hitting extra base hit. So kind of feel like it sort of fits in there. Born to Be a Star, we did our previous video on that it's kind of it does give a stat increase, so it's kind of like Legend on steroids. Also gives you more of a chance for a hit with more people on base. So you want it following your guy with your highest on base percentage, basically. Batter's Insight, it's kind of, I think, a fool's gold. It reduces a skill, up to 6 levels, but only if someone's in scoring position. So if I have a guy on second base and the pitcher has, boss, mess, and a bronze skill, all at level 6, it's going to take one of those skills and reduce it down to level 1. It could be the bronze, it could be boss, you don't know, but only active when somebody's already in scoring position. Given that variable, you need somebody in scoring position, plus you need to nerf the right skill. I just wouldn't waste time with it. It seems too dependent on too many things. Maybe if it was already paired with something really good, boom, I got it, and I got Charisma and Slugger Instinct at level 7 or something. Yeah, I might work on it, but I'm not going to spend green tickets on it. That's sort of the point. And Batter's Chem is special because you want it, but on a guy on the bench. So it's going to give you a stat increase for everybody. All right, moving on. Skill change targets. What should you be happy with? It depends on where you're at, or where you're trying to get to. If you're an iron team and you have, say, 10 skill change tickets and 4 players at all bronze skills, okay, well, do I want to use all 10 and try and hunt for 2 S tier skills, or am I going to be happy with a set that's a little lower, but I get to do multiple guys? So I would prefer the latter. So if I'm an iron team skill, I'd sort of be happy, say I got batting machine and training junkie. I'd stop there. Obviously I'm going to have other needs, and I'm going to want to focus on them. Moving up, you're basically going to play leapfrog over time. You're going to fix your worst skills, and then you're going to maybe have to come back, and that guy with batting machine and training junkie, you're going to have to redo at some point as you're trying to get to higher and higher levels. The best way to see is to keep track of your stats. Calculate OPS. So you can't fully do it. I've shown in other videos. It's basically the OPS calculation. You just have to substitute home runs for slugging. So you got to do that calculation. If you see your OPS is above 800, he's doing pretty good, and the cause of you not advancing is somebody else. If you're below 1800, below 800, it's probably that particular batter. So if you have a bunch of people with 1.1 OPS, well, it's probably your pitching. So that's sort of who are you going to target? You're going to target your biggest weakness in the beginning and kind of play leapfrog. Eventually, you want to get to 2S, maybe 1S, 1A, and a high B. So I had the recent dilemma with either Spotlight Slugger Instinct or what was it? Spotlight Batting Machine, and then Trading Junkie at a high level. So how those play out, what's better in those pairings, that's going to take some trial and error, calculating stats, keeping track, trying to see what's better in those type of decisions. I'm rolling with the latter set right now, so that'll be something to look at in the future. This is just to give you a high level idea of where you should be working at. What are your targets as you advance. So anyway, let me know if you got questions. Probably try and dive into some of these skills in the future a little more, or also organize the YouTube channel into different categories so people can go back and see stuff in the future. Anyway, happy grinding. Let me know what you think, and Happy New Year.